I want to move on because Spencer Dinwiddie, who is, of course, sitting out of the restart after testing positive for coronavirus, told Bleacher Report's Taylor Rooks that he had some advice for those down in Orlando. Take a look.
Any words for anybody in the bubble?
Yeah, to all my fellow NBA players, don't call the snitch hotline. Don't cross the line to get Postmates. Don't fly LA work out. And last but not least, the Brooklyn Nets are coming for you. That's the way it works.
When he's talking about the snitch line, that is, of course, a reference to the NBA's anonymous hotline to report protocol violations. If you want to know what he meant by LA work, I'm not going to do that for you. You can look that up on the internet. Here's Rudy Gobert. He said, quote, "I don't think if anyone's going to use the snitch line," he said, "it's sort of petty. At the same time, you want to make sure that people respect the rules. But I don't think the line will really help at that point. I think it's more about respecting each other and all do it as a small community. Everyone's pretty much educated about the virus at this point, and it's more about respect." So, Scottie, I want to ask you about this anonymous hotline that is set up for players and staff to report violations on each other. Are you okay with players using this?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I don't per se that players are going to be sort of calling each other out, but I think they want to make sure that everybody is safe. So with that being said, you need everybody's eyes and ears working to make sure that they keep that bubble safe, because one outbreak could cost them the whole season, and there's a lot riding on this. So I totally get it. I mean, if you got something that you see that you don't like, report it, please.
Yeah, I agree. Let's stop this. This is not the block. This is not where we grew up. This is not the hood. This is not the neighborhood. This is a serious medical situation. And so we can crack jokes about this, but we had Drew Holiday on here. His wife, struggled. I believe she had a tumor. Right? These are people have pre-existing stuff. So if you go and do something that you're not supposed to do, you're putting other people's lives at risk. Now, I understand we're talking to 20-year-olds and some guys that are, young. And so the message needs to be, don't do it. If you see something, say something. 100% you could, because guys are leaving their families. They're risking, quote unquote, their lives and other people's health. So if you're doing things that you're not supposed to do, then yes, you should be penalized. Like that's just human. That's the way we live in our society. And in that bubble, there are rules that you must follow, or you should be penalized and your team should be penalized, because we're not just talking about an advantage. We're talking about people's health. We're talking about the health of kids. We're talking about the health of grandparents and the health of wives and spouses. So let's not be stupid. If you want to go, you didn't have to show up. If you didn't want to show up, if you wanted to do LA work, if you wanted to do all of the extracurricular stuff, you could have stayed home without any penalty. If you're going to be there, go there and abide by the rules.
Well, what I like is that the reporting has been that for sort of minor violations, like, hey, he didn't quite have his mask on or something like that, it sounds like the players so far have just gotten warnings, which I think is a good way to do it, to get people to do, as you say, Richard, to take this kind of stuff seriously. The protocol manual for what you're supposed to do down here for health and safety, it's more than 100 pages of rules. So I do understand why there might be little slips here and there, but you don't want to do any major breaking of the rules. And the more that guys are told in this next week or two before the games really start, the more I think they can have a safe environment here on campus.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.